Good morning, guys.
Morning. Morning.
Welcome to Fit Academy class number 2. We're going to be doing a little revision of the first class because for you guys, and just as a reminder, and then we're moving on to a different section. But I just wanted to do a very quick intro. So, introducing Rudy, he is an exercise physiologist with over 30 years, 50,000 hours of training and coaching thousands of people. So ranging from Australian celebrities, Hollywood A-listers, doctors, athletes, weekend warriors, and just about every other type of person you can think of. Literally, all kinds of people. People with Parkinson's, people who, you know, just the whole gamut. Some like elite athlete kind of people, all of that, right? Sporting-wise, he played professional rugby in Australia. He placed in the top 3 natural bodybuilders and first place in the Pasadena Senior Olympics. Push-ups. 103 push-ups, if anyone's asking. Not bad. And chin-up, 25, if anyone asks. So that was in Pasadena a few years ago.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Over to you, Rudy.
Thank you. Good. So I want to introduce Tracy, so you see where she comes in. So she's an American College of Sports Medicine certified trainer. So that's like the highest level. It's got the most prestige, and it's got a lot of science behind it, right? She's done over 10,000 hours of coaching. She has a cult following amongst her female clients. She does. They give her gifts and all, and I go, why don't my guys give me almost weekly, right? So which is awesome because she gets great results with them and is totally in good communication with them. If she trains, sometimes we'll train together. We'll work on the same people at different times to give them variety and also get another look. When she works with my guys, she threatens them with man yoga. And they're terrified, right? Because dudes tend to be a little stiffer. Yeah, you can look at me now. But anyway, sports-wise, she's a past rhythmic gymnast and figure skater, so which is great. So she's got her physical background too. So together we owned a gym in Australia for about 9 years, and then we moved to the US and we set up our personal training business. It's in the top 10% of our industry, which is a good thing because we look at stats, right? And so we've launched this. This is really exciting because we've done a lot of one-on-one and we found a lot of stuff that really works and what doesn't work. You'd think if you're doing something for 30 years and all that. It's more educational, but also there's a practical aspect to it.
My upper back, I feel like my head is really heavy always. So like right here hurts and like the shoulders.
Yeah.
So like even like just looking, if my head is like looking at it for a long time, it just feels heavy.
Yeah.
But after doing the stretches and like using this blue thing, especially this blue thing.
Yeah, the Theracane.
Yeah, what's called a Theracane?
Theracane,
yeah. So
you get
I literally feel like loose.
Yeah.
Like it feels,
Lots going on.
I can definitely feel the difference.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, just loose and like a little bit lighter,
Yeah.
just not all bunched up tight, Feels pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like lighter. It might be like mental, but I feel like I can breathe better. Like I don't have like this weird tension in my neck, and that's like the lower back, which is bothering me when I come into these meetings. I don't even touch it. I'm just working on the hips, the butt, and then the front area here, and then like my calves. Like everything is lighter. It's smoother. I don't feel like pain coming later, I know it's coming, and now it just feels lighter. So.
Very good. And we have worked with corporate groups before, usually executives. We'll go into a company. We haven't done a lot of it because we just flat out just with the one-on-one stuff. So this is really exciting when Dave, spoke to us at that one. We've been talking about this for about 2-3 years off and on, and finally he called, spoke, I guess, I'm not sure it was Carlos or someone, and he said, these guys are really interested in this more than he thought. Like, great. Yeah. So anyway, so we started it, so we're really excited. And last week, you guys weren't here, but we have a video of one of the success stories. And where's our man? Oh, you're here, yes. So you will be immortalized as the key, but lots of people have successes. So anyway, so we're having a really good time with that. Okay. So as I said, Dave invited us here, and really the first section, the way this works is it's like, it runs for about 6 weeks. Okay, I don't know what that means, but
Take the cap off.
no, it's a look. I don't want to give away my bar.
I'm a little bossy.
Okay. All right, let's have a look. If it gets cold, it's going back on. You can see Matt and I go to the same barber. Okay. So it runs for 6 weeks, and then we go into other stuff. So this is mostly for preventative, and it'll give you tools like these guys already know. So there's a set of tools you use that if you use, you can use it any time, any place. Once you learn, it's yours forever, and it's not a fad. And we've been using this because we're getting some really interesting results with 60-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and we're like, wow, they can ski for a few days or snowboard, and they weren't getting sore, whereas before they'd only last 3 hours. And what are we doing? It's different. So this is part of what we're going into, which we'll introduce to you. So we're going to do a quick review. All right. So last week, so we went into what rudimetrics. We've put this word together to define something. Who can tell me what it means, just real quick? Or bits of it. Does anyone remember anything about it?
Pieces, it's like, is that what you're talking about with like the brag thing?
Yeah, that's coming.
Acronyms?
That's coming.
Oh, it's just separate.
Now this is the name of it.
Oh, okay, of that stuff.
Okay, so it's made up of 3 words. So that comes from the word rudiments, which means the basics or essential. It's like, what if you're just going to pick 4 or 5 things? What's the most important thing? You need to know. Do you need to know about, well, how do you stand? Where's your posture? Where's your alignment? Is that important? Absolutely. That's one of the tools, right? So we found the 5 key points that if you use this, whether you're physical or not. I sit all day and I work on the computer. Okay, good. So I get headaches occasionally. What can I do? This stuff is going to help you. So rudiments. So what do we want to measure? The metrics. Okay. And X is for exercise or movement, right? With purpose. It's like, okay, we just don't go for a walk just for a walk. You can, but I want to feel better. Or, if I'm doing this, why am I doing this exercise? Yeah, I want to get strength in that area, right? Okay, so that's rudimetrics. And then it's got 5 tools. And this is what we're in over. So, BRAGG. Now we focused on this one, and we're going to do. So last week we introduced this and we played around a little bit with this, which you're going to get to do today. And then so each week, so week 1's just the intro, week 2 now we're going to really get into this, and I brought some tools and you're going to get to see how that works. And then the next week we're going to go to that. Now does anyone remember what these words stand for? Matt, the apprentice is being...
The first one, does everybody remember the first one? Bow. Body. No, position.
Okay, ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to spare you. Alright, let's do this. So this is barriers. It's like, I'm going to be checking you on a weekly basis. What did you get out of the class? So you can always go back and check the notes, right? So barriers, you can call them problems, you can call them situations, you can call them restrictions, you can call them stuff that's getting in my way, obstacles, right? I want to go from here to here. Something's in my way, okay? Oh, my knees are collapsing. Oh, I'm getting knee pain when I'm riding a bike or walking hills. Oh, that's a barrier, and that's to do with alignment. Okay? So that's one of the other tools. And then we've got recovery. Oh, I've tweaked my back, but I'm still going to go and do lifting, right? It's like, is that really a good idea? Not really. You need to let it rest. But there's a whole bunch. But we'll get into these, and you'll see how we utilize it. The next one is gradient. Okay? That's a good word, isn't it? So this has to do with, how hard do I push if I'm exercising? How long do I sit with my head and neck like this? How long will it last before I get a knot in this area? Which we know knots along in this area here. And then, so people can underdo or overdo their workouts, right? I've seen lots of this. I've walked into a CrossFit gym and just to have a session. I told them I was a coach, trainer, and then I seen a couple of women puke. It's like, what are you doing? It was like a free intro class. Like, that's dumb training. And it's like the woman who was running it was laughing. Look at this. They're really unfit. It's like, you want to have, they need a good, pleasant experience so they can continue it, not kill them first day. What if they really hurt themselves? It's like, it didn't make sense, right? But anyway, so there's gradients. And then all this has to align with, well, what are you trying to achieve? What's your purpose? What are your goals? Why are we doing this? Oh, I'm doing a workout. Okay, well, what do you want to achieve by the end of it? Oh, yeah, if it's a weight loss, that's the most popular thing. Everyone wants to lose anywhere from 5 pounds to 100, 200 pounds. We've worked with 400 pounds. Yeah, everyone in this, well, even me, it's like, yeah, I need to lose, carry some weight. Usually. No. Okay, good. So anyway, so if we pick on that one, We can go, okay, so then what do we do? Grading. Oh, let's just do one change to your diet. Oh, instead of 15 different things, it doesn't work. What are you willing to do? We had a guy he said, he knew this, I'm going to get off my diet, he weighed 450 pounds. I'm going to get off my diet Pepsi. Boom, 50 pounds within a few months. Just one change. And he was willing, and he originated that, which is pretty cool.
It was real Pepsi,
Is real Pepsi? Okay.
Diet's okay?
not diet.
He also mentioned no.
Shame.
He also,
It gives you kidney stones for
Diet
real.
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
okay, so who are the guys who last week did any not work or did anything from what they learned in the class? Now you're cheating because you're already you've got some coaching.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna. That's great that you use it on a weekly basis because you know the value, right? Did you? Just curious. It's okay. Yes or no?
I did a little bit.
That's okay.
Some stretches.
Yeah, good. Okay, so stretches is one of the tools, one of the areas. Okay, good. Good. All right, so let's define barriers. We're going to go into a little more detail here. So what's interesting with barriers is we're just going into the physical barriers, but you can say there's other barriers too. Anyone think of any other barriers?
Mental barriers?
Yeah, what could be? Let's pick up someone who's had a bad experience. We'll pick our industry in the gym. First time they ever went, they got annihilated by their free session with a trainer. Mm-hmm. What mental baggage could they have?
I think I've heard too much to want to keep doing shit.
Yeah, they quit, which is something really healthy and good for them if they got started off the right point.
Like those CrossFit ladies.
Yeah. So anyway, so they can be mental barriers.
Yeah, I quit CrossFit. I made it through like a month though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah,
I tried and I quit.
Oh man, the first one, I thought I was actually gonna have a heart attack.
There you go.
I
Real life
legit thought I was
experience.
gonna. No, I was like gray.
Yeah.
It was bad. My wife was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, so you can see when we violate this, if we apply it or not apply it, you can get a good or a bad result. So you can see these have come from just years of just working with people. Okay, so where were we on this one? Okay, so there's the mind, right? And then there's the person, maybe they didn't make their decision. Then they're like, oh, you want to do it, but I don't really. So it's like, you got to make up your mind. I'm picking on a weight loss person, right? And then the other factor is, what's the environment like? So they go home, and there's candy and ice cream and all the junk food everywhere. Man, I know. I've been and done it all, right? And I've also done competitions, so I know how to be disciplined to get on stage, as you know, right? So Tracy read out. I've done 6 competitions, and that takes the food part. It's nasty. It's not hard. It was just you just have to be so persistent, right? So the environment is also key. Or you might find someone who's like, oh, I don't want to be a jealous husband. Right? It's like, I don't want her to go to the gym because the guys will look at her. It's like she just wants to feel better.
That's a real example, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not a joke.
Most of the stuff that we'll tell you here is not just made up examples, because we've done so much of this. It's like what we've seen. It comes from real life stuff. Okay, any questions so far from our new folks here? Or no, we good to go? Okay. So last week we had some tools to remove some barriers here. So it's great that you guys already had some of those. It'll make more sense once you get to play with them. Stuff. So next week we're going to go into recovery, just so you know. So now we're going to look at barriers in a little more detail, and then we'll look at how to what to deal with them. So really, when we're looking at barriers or restrictions or problems, now how does this relate to working, having a physical aspect of your job? Can you guys give me some examples? Anyone? Some barriers you may have or you've seen.
Tight crawl spaces.
Yeah, not fitting in a crawl space, not being able to be flexible enough to squeeze under beams or.
Okay, so you mentioned flexibility. Good. All right.
Shoulder and neck soreness and pain. Sometimes after I went snowboarding, and then for 3 or 4 days after I did 2 days of crawling.
Yeah.
My neck was like, oh my god, it was so hard to lift it. My shoulders from being hunched down in there and just gets tight, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So
Good. So
I
let's
have
look
a
at
headache while I
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
away from the appointment.
Yeah, we'll come to that one. So let's look at that one. I said he did 2 days of real physical stuff, snowboarding.
Yeah.
So now the muscles have been fatigued. He doesn't do that every week, so he's not going to be conditioned the same way. Now, under the BRAGG, he needed to do recovery.
Yeah.
He didn't recover enough. Then he went and did some more stuff And now the strength that would normally hold him up wasn't there because it was trying to recover.
Yeah.
So this, you see where the recovery tool comes in. So when you know this stuff, what you do physically becomes really intelligent. And then once you own these, they're yours. And I get excited about it, as you can tell. Because it's so easy.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so good, thank you for that. So we'll put that under pain. So we've got flexibility, pain, and any other... There's one more, actually. So you guys already pulled it out. So you know.
I think you mentioned it, crawling through a spot. Like, I mean, depending on like how big it is, you can get tired.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful, you hit it. Okay, so we got tired.
Fatigue.
Okay, so we can put that under...
Stamina or something.
Yeah, weakness. I'm looking at the negative. Stamina. And I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm just saying, like, if the body had more endurance, it could crawl more without getting tired. Would you agree?
Sure.
Good. Now, see, I'm no genius. Maybe I am. But look at this. You guys are geniuses. You just told me the 3 most common barriers. So you see, this stuff's out of real life stuff, right? So we're going to name them. And then I just named them 1A, 1B, 1C. Actually, and there's 1D. 1D, we can't do too much about at this point. So 1A, we're going to do this. This is muscle. Oh, this is bad writing. I'll get in trouble here. Muscle, fascia, knots. We're going to go into that in a minute. 1B is tight, short, muscles. Okay? So someone mentioned flexibility. It was Carl, right?
Yeah.
Good. And then knots. Okay? Pain in the shoulders. Okay? And then the third one is we need to work on stuff that's weak or loose. Okay? And D, injured. Right? So that one you need to see a physical therapist or something like that. So these are like what you come across. So this, but we can help this, right? We can help someone who's injured. We can definitely help with the tools. But, you know, they really need to see a specialist, right? Sometimes we get people with injuries and we help them, right? They've seen other practitioners. Just with our training system, we've gotten really good results with the injured. So anyway, this one is person, put your arm in plaster, what happens? Does it get stronger or weaker?
Weaker.
Yeah, and it disappears. Atrophy, right? The muscles fade. So, I sit all day, this is all I ever do. What's going to happen to the muscles supporting the core, the back? Weaker, right? Okay. So, we need to strengthen those things that are getting challenged. Good. So if we don't use it, or we stretch too much, I do yoga, or I've done ballet, and I'm not knocking those, they can get hypermobile joints, which in later life they can be affected. So they need to tighten and strengthen that. Okay, tight, short stuff. I go jogging, or I'm working, and this is what I do. 8 hours a day. So certain muscles, when you're using, they'll get shorter and tighter. Notice you go for a run or a hike, and then you get tight. You get tight. You know, you play a game of sport, you get tight. Because when you use muscles, they get short and tight. So we need to then stretch them. Okay, and if we don't, they keep getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Next thing you know, you walk around like this. It's like, try to straighten up. I am. What's that?
I am.
That's how I walk around.
That's how I walk. Yeah, okay. So anyway, so there's tools for each one of these. So today we're going to get into these. You know, we could spend hours on these, but we're going to go over them with enough information. And we're going to give you some tools of how to do this, this, and this. Okay, all 3. Any questions? Does it sound good? Interesting?
Yeah.
Interested?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. The fuzz.
Good. Yeah, we're good?
Yeah. So here's the thing about the fuzz. I'm going to try and do it at the camera. Okay. So we've seen the fuzz. You can see it now. I'll put it in over my voice. The fuzz yields to my fingertip. Sometimes I come across a stronger, thicker strand that doesn't yield to my fingertip. That represents older fuzz sometimes, or maybe it represents the nerve. But each night when you go to sleep, the interfaces between your muscles grow fuzz potentially. And in the morning when you wake up and you stretch, the fuzz melts. We melt the fuzz. That stiff feeling you have is the solidifying of your tissues. The sliding surfaces aren't sliding anymore. There's fuzz growing in between them. You need to stretch. Every cat in the world gets up in the morning and stretches their body, and it melts the fuzz in the same way that the fuzz melted when I passed my finger through it. When you're moving, it's as if you're passing your finger through the fuzz, just like I did on the cadaver form here. So you have to stretch and move and use your body in order to melt that fuzz that's building up between the sliding surfaces of your musculature. The sliding surface, those shiny white surfaces, are the rectus femoris sliding against the vastus intermedialis. So these sliding surfaces are all over your body, and the fuzz is all over your body, and as you move, you melt the fuzz. Now what happens if you get an injury? Aha! My shoulder! My shoulder is stiff now. I'm holding my shoulder. I go to bed. I wake up in the morning. I don't stretch my shoulder. I'm afraid it hurts. So I walk around like this. Last night's fuzz doesn't get melted. I go to bed. I sleep some more. Now I have 2 nights fuzz built up. Now 2 nights fuzz is more fuzz than 1 night's fuzz. What if I have a week's fuzz or a month's fuzz? Now those fuzz fibers start lining up and intertwining and intertwangling, and all of a sudden you have thicker fibers forming. You start to have an inhibition of the potential for movement there. It's no longer simply a matter of going, stretch. Now you need some work. Now you might need to do a more systematic exploration of that place to restore the original movement that you lost. And usually this is the case. We have a temporary injury, then we restore our movement. But sometimes we call this aging. The buildup of fuzz amongst the sliding surfaces of our bodies so that our motion becomes limited, the limit cycles become introduced into our normal full range of motion, and we start to walk around like this. We're all fuzzed over. Our body is literally solidifying. We're reducing our range of motion in individual areas of our body and for our entire body in general. So I believe that one of the great benefits of body work, whether it be massage or structural therapies or physical therapy or any kind of hands-on therapy, these types of therapies introduce movement manually to tissues that have become fuzzed over through lack of movement, whether the lack of movement is because of an injury and a person is protecting that injury, or because of personality expression. That was many years when I just walked around like this. I was very still and monk-like. So, and then I became a little more dynamic in my personality when I realized what I was doing to myself and the kind of life that I wanted. So, you can grow fuzz by choice or by accident or whatever, and yet here, now you've heard the fuzz speech, you know that you can take responsibility for melting the fuzz, and if there's too much fuzz in your body and it's frozen up, you might want to seek help in order to introduce movement so that the new cycle is a little more movement and a little more movement and a little more movement instead of a little less movement, a little less movement, a little less movement. Fuzz represents time. The easier it is for me to pass my finger through the fuzz, the less amount of time it's been there. If I gotta whip out my scalpel to dig my way through one otherwise sliding surface and another, you know that that's been building up for a long time. So you can actually see time in fuzz. That's the fuzz speech. Woohoo! We love.
There you go.
Interested?
Yeah.
That guy is definitely, he's like a mad scientist.
He's definitely a mad scientist about fuzz and anatomy, right? So did anyone want to say anything about it, or did anyone realize something about it?
Makes me feel like,
So stretch every day.
Yeah,
like
interesting.
kinda,
100%. Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of fuzz
Yeah.
in my body.
Yeah.
Watching
I'm
that.
just fuzzy all around.
Besides the fuzz that's growing on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now also, so one of the tools to handle the fuzz, this is the key tool up here. Okay? 1A. So we call that Maya, muscle, fascia, relief or release. So self, you're going to do that for yourself. We're going to teach you, for those who are new to it. Also, we can do stretching as the tool to also help your flexibility. And then weak loose, pretty simple. What's the tool we need to use for that?
Strengthening.
Strength exercises, right? So if someone goes to physical therapy and their back, they can give them this, this is one of the easiest little lower back. So there's gentle stuff you can do. So we use strength. So this one's easy to learn, and this one, when we've worked with groups over 100 people, not all at once, 200 people, we can't even get them out of there. So it's usually this and this, this and this. They're like, wow, there's guys sweating, and I used to play football, college level, right? It's like working his back. It's really interesting what we've seen. So here we need to do some strength. So we need a little bit of knowledge here, right? It helps, but there's a lot of resources for that. Injured, you see a therapist, physical therapist, etc. And there's more physical therapy, or a really, teched up, experienced trainer like ourselves. And then if it's too hard, we say you go see a therapist. So it just depends, Okay. So we have a form for you to fill out. So this has to do with barriers. So there's two things that's going to happen. You're either going to know you have some, or you're going to not know. Because I don't feel anything. Well, that's okay. So then you do an assessment, so you can check out and find if you have any. So this is one of the things we teach. Okay. So before we start with any of these, there's going to be two things. There's going to be those that you know of, and those that you don't know. So I'll just put not know for now. That's what I'm calling it for now. So it's either A or B. So that form is to help you locate if you already know some. And if you don't, you may even find some that you're like, someone might have, this shoulder plays up, but you find the problems down here. So the thing is, as I mentioned last week, is, so let's say someone has, pick a common area, a lower back. It's kind of funky. So you can use the balls, there's some other tools we're going to go into in a sec. You can put the ball directly on it, but not on the spine, just to the left of it, okay? And with the pressure, 1 to 10. So we're applying gradients, B-R-A-G, G for gradients. And we use the numbering system scale 1 to 10. So don't push it 10 out of 10. You don't want a lot of pressure on it. A 10 is like, right? Well, 1 is like, I don't feel the pressure. So how hard do you press? 5 to 7 on the big stuff. Glutes, right? Quads. Small stuff, right? 2 to 4. How long do you hold it for? 1 second to 60. If you get into the small stuff, you can hold it for longer. So if you press softly, you have to hold it longer, and it will release, and it will last longer. Okay? So let's say going back to the back. So if it's a back, so you go directly on it, and you go, okay, above, below it. Oh, there's glutes. To the side, to the front. And you had a great win when you did the front, and you did some feet stuff, right?
Yeah.
You got a nice release.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, right?
I need one more.
You need one? Well, you've got it. You got it. Okay. And there's more. We're going to introduce more tools. So you don't have to be an anatomy expert. This is really simple. So you go on the spot, above, below it. Hold it. Don't roll. Don't move. Just stay until it starts to give. You'll feel it give. So if you're starting, the pressure feels like a 7, it should go 6, 5, 4. Oh, I'm done. I'm bored. Okay. And then move very slow. The next spot. You're fishing, you're hunting for spots, you go around it, so if it's here, right? Okay, everyone got that?
Yeah.
Right, one more thing now, this is a little more advanced because we're doing the barriers, is we can then get into the fancier technology, which is awesome. So those, I know Carlos has experience with some of this, so we recommend stuff like this, and we use this when we're working with people. So we have the vibrating foam roller, which is awesome for quads and glutes, right? The ball's awesome for calves, that's also great for calves. This is one of my favorites because I'm going to leave this here, so those who know how to use it or want to learn to use it, you can use it while we're doing this, right? So I'll turn this on, I charge it up. It's on now, it's green. Turn it on, it's got 3 speeds. I've got the softest head on there, which is great. Hip flexor, very important area, right? I want to work the glutes, you get in there, you find the spot. Okay, and it's not about how hard I can press. Okay, pec minor, very important. We've got the slouch going here, so we can get in here, you can hear it vibrate, right? You can do head and neck just softly. It's a little bumpy here, right? So I wouldn't do the head, but you can definitely get into the traps. Any of the trapezius, okay? Calves feel incredible. You can even go at bottom of the foot. So that's that one, okay? The ball, okay? Turn it on, press and hold. Lights pop up. Again, it's got 3 speeds, 1, 2, 3. There's knockoffs. I just like this brand. It's not the cheapest, but super high quality, made in Germany. And then you can do anything with this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, okay, calves. Okay.
Cool.
You want to get into the low back gently. Okay. So we can do this on the wall, or on the floor. Now this one's my baby. I love this one here. Okay. And again, turn it on. But I want to introduce you to it. Now, if we had a we can bring and place a mat next time, because
Yeah.
that will soften the noise.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are tools you can play with, and you can see it's kind of noisy on a wooden floor. Okay, so now, with the balls, start. Okay, and then there's 3 tools here. You're welcome to come and grab and use.
You can also go up against the wall and do it too.
What's that?
They can go on the wall and do stuff too.
Yeah, the stuff on the wall. Okay, I'm going to work with the nucleus.
Stick it under your
Yeah,
back.
come and do that over here. On the wall. Basically, this up and push it down. Yeah, try the glutes, try the low, if you can do low back. Okay, so just put it behind your back. Find a spot that's uncomfortable. And you said that.
Oh, you just, yeah.
No, this is great.
Bounce.
The sciatica going all the way down? Should I keep going or should it?
No,
Am I irritating
just
it?
go above and below it. Don't go heavy on the sciatic nerve.
Because I've been having that sciatic pain for like the last week.
Yeah.
Is this
Just go easy on that. Okay?
like above?
And you can take the weight off by pushing it.
Yeah.
So some people can get away with it, not, it just really depends how it's, if it's fed through some muscles like that, that's the nerve, so just really, who knows what the
crazy
area, that's going to be really good.
I had that like long
Button
day,
underneath,
like,
button underneath.
on one day,
Oh.
like all
Now you can press
supermarket
that,
outlet.
put that baby on that.
I don't know how to will myself to get in.
There you go.
Oh yeah, small crawl. It was a shitty
Yeah,
one.
find the spot
Small
now.
with the boots
Pretty cool.
and Fucking like soggy mold after
Very
crawl. And it was one crawl, tight, all like super hard clay. I was just wrecked.
So it's funny because this is like exactly like a golden crawl. It's like
Stop. Oh my god.
Yoga's,
Okay.
that's basically all
And push.
Yeah, and honestly, I
5,
just feel like I
4,
just like a little
3,
I was reading an article that
2,
said
good breathing, look up. Turn your head.
That's it.
Oh, you're doing
a
a
ball
ball
right
there too.
Your spine is
Alright, so push for 5, relax, for 5.
Your health will be magnificent.
You're getting a 2 for 1 really.
It makes sense because
Like Carla's getting that one-on-one.
How's that going on your shoulder now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see how this is going to help, like, work-wise.
I mean, already
Yeah.
my lower back, which is so funny. I'm not even touching my lower back, and I'm just touching my butt, my sides, my front, or the legs, and then my back is just can't feel it anymore.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of
You're
amazing.
stretching.
It's just above and below, to the side, not even on the problem area.
Right.
But it makes sense because, like, you know, I don't know. The issue could be occurring in the middle of the muscle, not like at the ends and edges. So you go below and above and things like that, and it starts to, you know, lessen the. Oh, here we go.
There you go. Good. You
Things
got the
getting away
idea
from
now.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to like pin it down.
literally right here. You could even see it.
Let's go.
See that? It's the bone.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I can't
It's
take
just 'cause
full
bad
breaths when I
posture.
do that.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Yeah, that's
rotate,
gonna
like
take-
my body won't let me. I have to overtake.
No, it's 'cause I got a gut.
I know. Years of, you know, years of.
Yeah.
No, dude, that one
Yeah, Ben.
will naturally crack your back. Like, it's so awesome. Yeah.
A good spot. We just got an oh my god. We expect oh my god moment.
At
Okay.
least one.
Now you can try this.
Okay.
No, keep that there. Exactly. We want 2 for 1 there.
Yeah, let me come off this a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay, so try that.
doing that with my
Two sharp, sudden. Like,
I'm telling you, Aaron, all my stretching started when I realized I couldn't touch my toes. And like every shower I took, I was just stretching more
You
and more.
couldn't what?
I realized I couldn't touch my toes in like my mid-20s.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't think I can touch my toes anymore.
So every time I took a shower, I would just kind of like
Can you
slow
see your
down.
toes?
Drop the soap.
Yeah, drop the soap by myself.
Drop the soap on purpose.
But that's the only reason I was like, oh man, I should be able to definitely touch my toes.
And then with that, you can
How's that feeling over there?
There's something
When I
to
was
do.
in the shop painting, I was
Just
always
the
like,
vibrating
hunched
ball?
over.
Yeah.
gentle.
This. I think it's bad.
HyperX.
I like that thing a lot.
Oh my god. Okay.
I only went to the first setting.
Yeah, I'm only doing one.
You might shake the building
Yeah.
foundation.
This is new to you,
On the
right?
calves is good.
Yeah. Wow.
On the feet
Oh
even.
my
It's
gosh.
amazing.
Yeah, incredible for car.
Wow.
Now, Now, while you're there, flex and extend your foot. Because now you're moving the muscles back and forth.
I feel it above and below my knee now.
Yeah.
When I flex.
Yeah, so you can see how the fascia connects way
All the way up there.
all the way up there.
This is called a basketball.
It's the same thing, but turn on.
Yeah.
Oh my
This is really
god.
nice. Now the beauty of the vibration technology is you're getting the pressure, now you're also getting stimulation, you're getting this pulsing effects, you're getting a 2-for-1. Now what I had Matt do is flex his foot back and forth. Now he's getting a 3-for-1.
Yeah.
Because he's got pressure, vibration technology, and he's moving he's not moving the spot, he's moving the joint near it, so then it's lengthening and shortening the muscle. I think Carl likes this one.
What about? So like, I notice when I crawl a lot. When I'm crawling, I'm mostly shoulders. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, but I'm mostly like shoulders.
way.
And pull. Yeah. So after like a full day, like I'll notice rotationally, like it doesn't feel like great at all.
Internal or external?
External.
That's this way here. So you feel the back, the posterior
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Okay, so just do some light knot work.
So that's doing like the rolls right here with the ball.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you have some vibrating tools?
Yeah, no, I got those at home.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know like if there's a different spot I should work.
next week,
like
Wednesday,
people's like, you know, sometimes you do your pecs, it's actually helping this out.
Yeah. Well, remember the rule. Front and back, above, below, left and right.
All of it.
You do all of it. And then
your back,
it's like,
and then you just kind of
because
pull it.
the thing with fascia is you might think it's there, but it could be there.
When we had softball league, and you know, I played baseball growing up. I pitched for years. I could throw the shit out of a ball. And I remember the first time I tried to huck it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stretching. That shit
And then
fucking
like
hurt.
you'll find it.
yeah.
Search for your spot.
And we literally, I was just winging underhand.
You can roll.
Because I couldn't go over the top anymore. If I do that, over the top.
I felt it like up here.
I mean, it probably had a scar tissue for sure. I probably just inflamed the shit out of it
Yeah.
in a quick second.
Yeah.
That's why with golf,
You don't even need
it's
to
all
flex, but when you do, it's like, man.
come down here.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling better, guys?
Okay, we're going to wrap up in about a minute.
Definitely feeling better. I'm just gonna.
It's nice for the small stuff. It's really good for here. See how you go with it. That one takes it to a whole other level too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that. Which one's for the calf? Is it the?
This one here.
I like the ball as well.
The ball works
ball
really
works,
well.
Oh, this ball feels.
Oh, I didn't even think about trying the ball with the calf.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then when you flex your foot.
Yeah.
That's probably the only device I don't have yet, is that foam roller.
Oh man, yeah, that is nice.
Yeah. Just
And then you flex your. What do you do with your foot?
Point reflex.
I've never seen the vibrating ball. I've seen
Yeah, I
like the
sometimes
ball.
will get
Yeah.
spasms if I flex forward. So I always get
Yeah.
super tight.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons. But yeah, it could be
Like
nutrition.
it seizes up and it hurts. So it's called hypervolt.
So if we get some flexibility in there, it's going to
Oh
Yeah, you're on the feet now, right?
Yeah.
and we can address any areas. Because the first thing is,
So answer this. I don't understand it. My quad. These are quads.
What I don't like
my
about
quads, my
those
calves
are
are defined.
They don't tell you how to use
defined
them.
and
No.
pretty and strong.
No.
You just play around with like, oh, you use this one, this
Everything else is
off.
like,
Like, oh,
there's
that
fat
hurt.
on it.
Like it'd be nice if they had like, oh, this is good for these areas, and this is good for this area.
Fat on my stomach.
Like I'm just supposed to know.
But I have tones on all calves.
They're really designed for physical therapists and people like that.
That makes sense because they already have practical
Yeah, that's what they were designed for.
Well, I know they got like I was talking to a physical therapist and like I got the high price.
and we'll get into that one.
Yeah.
It was expensive, but then the guy told me he's like honestly like
Go into all that stuff. Yeah.
their proprietary patent is dispersed, and you can literally buy the Chinese shit now. It works just as good. I've always been about.
Oh, the ball on the.
I mean, it's maintaining your body.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's an investment.
Does anyone want to share what they got out of that? Like, so we have a record of it.
That pull you're talking about when you had me stretch and like push against you,
The push-pull stretch.
push pull. I mean, I can actually feel myself being able to stretch more.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's an advanced way to stretch. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Partner stretching, and we'll get into that when we do the stretches. But you had a good win with that one.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And you just think the fascia is like a cobweb, so it connects everything: muscles, bones. It's inside, outside. So if there's something tight somewhere, it's going to affect another thing. So it definitely helps circulation. So it is fascia related most of the time, right? And just think, what if you see a cat and dog, if they've been sleeping, what's the first thing they do?
Stretch.
Yeah, so what are they handling? Is it the muscles or bones? It's fascia. So they know, they're smart, and they're super flexible, right?
Yeah.
Compared to you.
every morning.
Okay. So now, you can see, once you learn this, you can do this yourself. A little bit in the morning, after work, before work, at night. At least we want you to learn the tools so you can do it yourself anytime, 24/7. Yeah. So, I think on our handout, we'll have our website and phone number. So if you have any questions, you can text and say, we can send you links or whatever you want.
Obviously a silly question, but as far as like the benefits to doing this every day or 3 times a week as opposed to just when we were here, like what are some of the benefits from that? Because I don't do it because I'm like, oh, I've got all these things to do, but...
Well, definitely, if you know you've got some areas, I would definitely work on it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go, well, is there any, well, do you need, the body needs to eat 2-3 times a day. It's like, okay, so there's no choice, we have to feed it. So you have to look at this as, this is part of just, I have a body, it can get locked up, you know, we sit or we crawl or whatever we do. This is just ways that you can reverse that so you're not affected long term.
I actually have an analogy that I tell my clients.
Yeah.
It's like, how often do you brush your teeth?
Every day, twice a day.
Right, you watch the fuzz speech video, that stuff's growing every single night. Just like plaque on your teeth.
Yeah.
If you don't brush your teeth, that you're going to have fuzzy teeth, right?
Yeah, right.
So if you don't do this with your muscles, especially when you're using them, I mean, everybody needs to do it, right? So it's kind of like brushing your teeth. Do a little bit every day, and you'll find you'll just be looser and more comfortable all the time.
Probably less injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
It's
you don't have
crazy
to do
watching
it as
that
much.
gross video because I killed this big wild boar in Texas, and my father-in-law was like skinning this thing, and there's nasty shit just like that.
Fascia.
Nasty big boar, like just all that white. Ugh.
Connective tissue, yeah. Yeah, you can see it in chicken too when you're cutting it up and stuff. Obviously in big game.
Yeah.
Is there a way to overdo it with those things? Like if you're never going to think too much, when is enough?
Okay, let's say you're using the ball, which is pretty hard, and you're doing it on a small surface, and then you're not applying gradients, 1 to 10, you're putting a 10 pressure. A 10 pressure. A 10, you could get a little bit of bruising. It's not going to kill you, but you're going to be bruised, you're going to be sore, you won't be able to get in there and do it again. So the idea is not about how hard you can go. It's like finding the spots and then just putting enough pressure and just be patient and breathe and it will release as you're experiencing, right?
Yeah.